So please have a seat. We are ready to resume the second to last presentation for the afternoon of our second day of the 2023 Culminating Experience presentation. And it's such a pleasure to present the next student. His name is Ian Ashby, and I'm going to read a little bit of his bio. Ian Ashby graduated from Oberlin Conservatory as a jazz-based performance major and creative writing minor. Coming from a musical family, Ian has been performing internationally since childhood and has recorded with the Smithsonian Jazz Masterwork Orchestra, the New York Voices, and the Manhattan Transfer. Sorry if that doesn't impress you enough. Amazing. He has recently performed with the BJJ at Jazz Campus in Basel, Switzerland, and at the Beam House in Amsterdam, Netherlands. His presentation is called The Modern Modinha, and we're very happy to welcome Professor Peter Eldridge with us. Thank you, as a part of his panelists, a big applause. And as an advisor, Farai Malek again. Again, welcome Farai. Please help me welcome on stage Ian Ashby.
Hey everybody, my name is Ian Ashby. I'm a jazz bassist and composer from Oberlin, Ohio. I'm really happy to be here today presenting my CE project, The Modern Modinha, an exploration of Afro-Brazilian music history. First, I'd like to give some context on why I'm doing this project. Both my brothers are Brazilian, and I got to spend a lot of time as a kid in Brazil, immersed in Brazilian food, music, culture, and here you'll see me in a capoeira class, and that's the pandeiro drum that I fell in love with there on the floor. I'll give you a wild guess which one is me. And from that point on, the two musics that I dealt with the most in my life have been jazz music and Brazilian music. And because I've had this immense focus, I've been lucky enough to work with master Brazilian and master jazz musicians all over the world, and been given a glimpse into the Afro-Brazilian music and its history. And now I'm proud to be studying within a curriculum here at Global, which operates with a Pan-African journey of global jazz in mind, including this Afro-Brazilian music and culture, and acknowledging its impact on the music that we play. The first 3 points of what could be many today are going to be Domingo Caldas Barbosa, Carnaval, and Ouro Preto and Brazilian independence. To give a little more context, I chose this genre, the Modinha, because of this book. I read this book in the fall of this year. It's called A Respectable Spell. It's by Carlos Sandroni. And this book really showed me that the Modinha is global in and of itself. It taught me that the Modinha is a combination at its core of the Portuguese moda, which is Portuguese opera music, and the Afro-Brazilian lundu rhythm. And these two factions complete the Modinha and make it up. I was also drawn to the Modinha because I learned about this gentleman, Domingo Caldas Barbosa, who's thought of as the father of the Modinha. He's the son of a Portuguese farmer and an Angolan slave. His mother is from Luanda, the capital city of Angola. And Luanda still today is the most populous Portuguese-speaking city outside of Brazil. And throughout human history, there were over 6 million enslaved people brought from Brazil, or brought from Africa to Brazil, and it was one of the last countries to abolish slavery in 1888 with the Golden Law seen here. Around 1760, Domingo Caldas Barbosa started to show some serious promise in his poetry. He wrote under the pen name Loreno, and his parents sent him to study poetry and law at the University of Coimbra. It was here where he started to set his poems to music. He started to improvise within his poems, and he actually became the court composer for Lisbon, Portugal. So this meant that his work was now documented, and every Modinha that he wrote was put into the system and copied down by many people, and this was so well documented that his music actually went on to be compositional examples for students of Joseph Haydn and many European titans throughout the coming eras. I'd now like to demonstrate this simple method of storytelling that Domingo used when he was in college at the University of Coimbra, and I'd like to take us to this bell tower that you see here. It was the highest point on the skyline for many, many decades, and it's still a place that you can visit today. So I'd like to set one of my poems to music now and invite my father, Jay Ashby, up to accompany me, and this is Coimbra Call. The tower sits above the ground, a ring of golden strength. It's white among the clouds. I climb and I find my way. As the sun begins its dance, and I ring the bells of the Coimbra call. Sits above the ground, a ring of golden strength. It's white among the clouds. I climb and I find my way. As the sun begins its dance, and I ring the bells of the Coimbra call. The next piece I'd like to share with you is meant to emulate the birth of the Modinha, to emulate the Portuguese moda, the operatic traditions by this rubato intro, followed by the lundu rhythms that you'll hear signaled by my brother on the pandeiro. You can't miss it.
Não tem chão, elas não pousam no meu coração, mas levam meu amor pra conquistar terras com mulheres para amar. E eu fico aqui a esperar que um dia voltes pra casar, com meu jeitinho de te olhar, meu
Thanks, everybody. That was Julian Miltenberger, Sofia Almeida, Lucas Ashby, Ian Cudi, and Zaheli Gonzalez. Next, I'd like to move to my next topic of discussion, Carnival. And to do that, I'm going to introduce some of the interview portions into my presentation now. I had the great honor to interview Miss Rose Moraes in Washington, D.C. recently. She's a vocalist and percussionist based in D.C., and she grew up in Brazil, and she's a huge proponent of Afro-Brazilian music and music education. So I'm going to share her thoughts on Carnival.
When I went to Europe, the first time when I saw what people know about Brazilian music there, I saw the bossa nova, like explosion, because for me, in South, I heard everything. I used to listen to everything, all kind of music, not only the bossa nova, not only the Afro music, no, MPB, right? Brazilian popular music. And we listened to everything. And there I started to realize that the only thing that people know more outside of Brazil would be the bossa nova, if you go to that part of jazz connection, or they will know about the carnival, which is the samba. Who brought the carnival to us? It was Africa. You know, this is all about the tambor. It was about the drums, all right? Yeah, that is when I realized, that is now I know what it is. I know how to go from here, per se.
So I quickly realized that myself and many others have what kind of a surface level understanding of Carnival, and I wanted to dive more into the history that Rose was talking about. So when she said that word tambor, she was referring to the religion in Brazil called tambor de mina. Tambor means drum in Portuguese, and mina references El Mina Castle, which is actually the oldest European building south of the Sahara. So it's these 45 male and 16 female deities that combine with samba on this night before Lent in February that make up to be this great celebration of Carnival. And the next piece that I would like to share with you employs this groove called the Marcha Hanchu, which was the groove that many of these enslaved individuals after the celebrations of Carnival would play on the walk back to the ranches or the plantations. And these would often be multiple day journeys that these men and women would go through. And I wanted to try to embody these grooves in this next tune called Lamentinho. And I tried to embody thousands of people playing tambourine by layering my brother's percussion tracks. And you'll hear this song, Lamentinho, with a lot of percussion.
La la la
all the drummers in the audience, Caleb, Shaddy, Julian, all you cats hearing those snare patterns, it's very reminiscent of a New Orleans second line type of snare pattern. I know you guys all probably heard that, but I just wanted to make that connection as clear as possible. Next, I'm going to take us to the Brazilian state of Minas Gerais and the city of Ouro Preto. So one of the biggest gold rushes in human history took place around 1700 in Ouro Preto. The population, it was a huge influx, and it rose to over 100,000 people. And it was bigger than the New York City was at that time. And it was there were also some of the hardest working conditions for the enslaved people came with this gold rush. So there were also escaped slaves that would make these quilombos, or strongholds of escaped enslaved people, and some of these were 10,000 people or more, and they were scattered across the state of Minas Gerais and into the Amazon rainforest. And the capoeira is this Brazilian dance of war, this martial arts form that was created in some of these strongholds, and this is where we're going to see this instrument called the beat-em-bow really take shape. And I wanted to have Rose, an expert, explain the makings of this instrument and demonstrate how it's played as well.
Thank you. So, berimbau came from Africa, you know. The capoeira came from Africa, actually. So, what's happened? They start to play, and the capoeira, also in Portugal, you will see a lot of the berimbau on the beginning of the 18th century, something like that. And some of them, it was a little different. This is a little big one, a kogunga, is the first berimbau. Because when you have like let's say orchestra, berimbau orchestra, because they do that too. You tune your berimbau, right? So you have the cabaça, you have the arco, and you have the string.
Okay.
All right, that's what you have.
Show the camera a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And then you have the chequeré here, the shaker, and you have to play with this and this. I played capoeira before. I went to play capoeira. It was hard.
I bet.
Every time I left the capoeira was something broke.
And then she goes on to say that her brother said, "You can't come anymore. You keep breaking the beat 'em bow." She was so into it.
Thank you. So, berimbau.
Try to get to the demonstration.
Innovated.
I love it. That's a stone she's holding in the left hand. I love it. So she's bending the string with a stone in her left hand, just if you couldn't see. And all of that information that Rose shared with me, that was none of that was taught to her in school. This was all information like myself that I had to seek out, and she sought out in Brazil and in America when she got here. And there are very few Afro-Brazilian music history programs currently in the U.S. in which you can get a degree in. So I'd like to take this project and perform in Brazil at the many UNESCO World Heritage Centers throughout Brazil. And we've had the honor to study with a UNESCO Artist for Peace this year with Maestro Danilo, and I'd like to further that connection with this organization and take this music to these UNESCO Centers for World Heritage, starting with Ouro Preto at the bottom of this list. I'd now like to end with my final piece, Ouro Preto, and I'd like to thank Marco and Danilo, Farai, Uncle Peter, my panelist, and my parents, my family, my girlfriend Lily, and my whole BGJI family here. You really made me feel like one of your own, and I can't thank you enough for all the inspiration and love this year. This is Ouro Preto, which is a tribute to the state of Minas Gerais, and I hope you enjoy.
Chegou a hora de reimaginar como a vida foi. Para alguns, uma pedra preciosa, mas para outros, a marca da morte. Procurando tesouro desesperadamente, ao comando do sonho de ouro preto. Ouro preto. Ouro preto. Ouro preto. Ouro preto. Marca da morte. Procurando tesouro desesperadamente, ao comando do sonho de ouro preto.
Thanks, everyone.
Ian Ashby. Wonderful. Congratulations, Ian. So wonderful. Okay, we're going to open up to comments and questions from the panel, and we're going to start with your panelist, Professor Peter Eldridge.
Yeah, buddy. That was really, really lovely. I just love the humanity and the soulfulness behind everything that you were saying and the music you wrote, and I just loved it. I just feel like this would be, beautiful for the world to witness. I really do. I guess that was a question. I love the list of places you're thinking about taking this to, but are there more are there some avenues here that here in the States,
Yeah.
school programs or whatever?
My original idea was actually to take this to some local capoeira classes. I was going to play at Harvard and MIT's capoeira classes, and I've already been in touch with the Oberlin College capoeira professor. So when I go
Nice.
home, I hope to take part in some of those. But I definitely am actively looking for outlets for this music.
It's really something, and it's so rich, the culture. I mean, just the mix of cultures and everything, and the mix of the musical styles is just so rich. It kind of, I was so impressed and so moved by all that. It was really something. And the Lamentinho, your song, yeah, that made my day. So thank you, buddy. It was really, really, really well done.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ian, congratulations.
Thanks.
Beautiful presentation. First of all, I just want to applaud your research. Very well researched. I loved how many resources you used, especially your family, and you had a lot of different resources, and it's so wonderful that you utilized all of those. Your presentation was very well organized. Did you transpose Cornbrook Hall?
I took it down a few steps.
You took it
from
down?
Zoom
I
Mix,
thought
yeah.
you took it
So
down.
Zoom Mix was a little high.
All right.
Can I add to that? I was wondering. It seemed a little low.
And now it's a little low. Yeah,
Because
so we're gonna find
because you're nervous,
find
the floor, the floor kind of drops out, right?
Yeah.
So I would say maybe, a step
we're
higher,
gonna
especially
find
in situations like this, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
So that was a nice segue into my next comment. So you got a couple singers here.
Yeah, totally.
One of the beautiful singing, great. One of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the year is you working on singing and playing and really wanting to develop that. I think that's something that I really encourage you to dive into more because you have such a great voice. And I'd love to even hear you do like a solo or duo set with this music, you playing and singing all the music. I'd love to hear more of your voice on this music. Okay. So I really encourage that. For the future, I know we spoke about maybe developing a 1-year, 3-year plan for connecting with these organizations and institutions. So I'd really, really encourage you to make that plan and to get this music out there, and because it's so needed, as you mentioned. Congratulations. That's all I
Thanks,
got.
Roy. Thanks.
Thank you, Farai. Chase or Lee?
Ian, congratulations.
Thanks,
Beyond today's presentation, which was really great, I think everybody noticed this and know about you, that you have such a love, and it's really felt in everything that you do. And I just want you to continue to keep that place and protect it as you continue and to do more things. And yeah, just something that I always noticed and I want to cherish today and with the presentation and beyond. Thanks.
Thanks, Lee.
Chase, you would like to comment?
Just really quick, are you going to release this music?
I think I'm going to release Oro Preto, yeah.
Okay,
last one.
I'm going to be there to buy it.
Oh, thanks, Jay. Thanks. Jay.
Man, just beautiful music, artistry. Your passion for this music and just in general is so evident in your playing and your generosity for your fellow musicians and peers. This whole year has been just fantastic. Your support and your humility and everything you bring to the table, your musicianship and your personality and the way you bring life to every situation is so interconnected. You feel that in this presentation and outside every day. So just thank you for all of that.
Thank you, man.
Ian, congratulations.
Thanks, Maestro.
I have so many things I want to say. I'm going to try to be short. First of all, I'm going to kind of echo and push a little bit even more what you brought to the program this year before I even start commenting about this. And I want to congratulate you because you have been one of those students that have, to me, brought so much positive energy and support for the whole community. I always see you, always being present, connected, helping the community. We had the pleasure to travel twice this year. We went to Basel and Amsterdam, where you, with the group, won the competition. And I really witnessed outside of the academic, program, how much, that's who you are as a person. And I cannot help to basically congratulate your parents, Jay and Kim. It's all a big clap for you guys, because this is a lot of wonderful upbringing humanly. Of course, musically, it's also very, very evident. What you brought today is such a beautiful and personal and unique research, unique in the sense of the kind of research we have had here. You're the first one that bring this particular point of view. And I'm really sort of like curious about your compositional process. First of all, I have to say you have such an incredibly, to my taste, strong melodic sense. I love the melody you create, and you almost sound like you write like a Brazilian. Like you really understand the music from the root. But you're a jazz musician, so can you talk a little bit how you specifically wrote for this project?
Yeah, I'd say the main thing that I focused on was instrumentation in this project, and really going back to my first call was to Ian Curry, because I knew I wanted bandolim, which is a Brazilian. Hey, and he's here.
Killing.
And, man, we should have played a tune. Damn. No. But my first call was to him because I knew I wanted this folkloric sound of bandolim on this record, and I couldn't have asked for a better bro to do it with, man. And then my next call was to my brother and said, "Are you free for the next couple months to help me out with this percussion tracks?" And he was more than generous to help me do that and really try to capture the sounds of these parts of Brazil with the percussion, with the voice, with the bass. And really, for this project specifically, a lot of this music was written for guitar, pandeiro, and voice. And I rewrote it for bass and voice and percussion.
That's very, very cool. And you talk about somehow how you resonate with the program and the Pan-African point of view. You certainly brought this connection of how Africa is such a source for all the music that you presented in Brazil, and I think that was really interesting that you made also that connection very, very special. I think coming to your future plan, do you think maybe that you can do a little bit more than presenting this, beside presenting that, and actually maybe writing a curriculum or a course on this, maybe for Berklee College of Music?
I would be more than happy to do that.
Have you thought about that?
I have thought about it, and my family and I are in talks with professors at University of Rio and other schools in Sao Paulo, and trying to get really my facts straight and a good foundational structure so that I can go out and teach this to other people.
Beautiful. So the research continues.
The research continues. It's
All
just
right.
the beginning. Yeah.
Congratulations. Very strong. Beautiful. Maestro Danilo.
Hello. Congratulations. Yeah, fantastic. One thing I was thinking, you brought me back many years, starting with you're telling a story of your life, your family life. That's what it feels to me. Mm-hmm. Having the great honor of recording with your dad. I just wanted to know my first recording ever was with this incredible trombone player, his father. Jay, yes, you're one of the great trumpet players. So for me to see this unfold, this story, it's like you wrote a book about a family history, you know what I mean? And it comes very strong. And I'm just thinking about a lot of things here about, this is what I was thinking about you. Every time we met, like, you have this incredible energy about you, and every time I was telling you something positive about it, you didn't waste time on that, you went right to it. But tell me what it is. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I just want to point that out because I think you were very mindful that your ego didn't want to be praised to the point of making you blind and making your pride go so high that then you become out of balance, you know. And I want to encourage you to continue like that. That's a trademark that makes you so strong. You're focusing in doing action, not validations and all of that. You just in a journey, you just in a fast track, I call it. You know what I mean? That probably is a family foundation, I don't know, but it's also something that you have is wisdom. There's six sense we have, right? Mm-hmm. We have all the taste, the eyes, and you have a sixth one called awareness, the awareness that the other one exists. That's so powerful. And please continue in that journey. That's amazing. I almost really, when you make a point like this, it's very clear that there's no jazz and Brazilian music. It's just that there will not be jazz without Brazilian music. That's, to me, is very clear. Mm-hmm. I have one question for you. Why to call it modern Modinha and not moderna Modinha? Modinha moderna.
That's the next record, baby, right there.
Cool. Put it in there. Yes. Okay. Thank you. The phrase and the singing, beautiful. The music, the playing, everybody's so connected. You really enjoy it. This is really your professorial manual. It came really strong, man. Professor Ian. Yes, you deliver very engaging. Everything you put together very strong. Came in. This all came out really strong. I only have two questions. One is how this whole background and experience have helped you to play this music we call jazz.
Well, I'd say in my sense of rhythm, I can now feel the dance in all musics that I play, and I think it's because of this Brazilian music that I played as a kid. And I think it goes back to that pandeiro drum that was on the floor in that capoeira class, and just that feeling. This is just like this constant subdivision that I have when playing music, when talking, when walking, when eating, when showering. This is just this constant tick of my heart that I think comes out in all the music.
Fantastic. My comment only as the future progresses in this, I would experiment a lot of the interaction and the playing when you were soloing, which is amazing. It comes out of a very subdivided kind of feel. I would explore what Brazilian music has, which is this incredible fire in the rhythms, but also a very another dimension where the voice sometimes, like when you hear Elis Regina and a lot of the great singers, they almost like in another tempo, and they can play ahead of the beat and behind of the beat. So I would actually inspire you to go that route too. I'd love to hear you exploring with all the abilities you have, that duality in the music. So congratulations. You have been, you didn't come here to pass through the global. You came to step your foot on the ground and left your fingerprint. And forever, there's a space here called Ian Ashby. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Bravo.
Thanks, everyone.